Hello YouTube, this is Let's Talk Horror, and welcome back to another video. So it's been another busy week, guys, as the Crystal Lake TV series, a lot of updates on that finally, although I do have other videos on the other parts of this story. But to quickly recap, if you didn't know, Monday night, Jeff Snyder, it's not Schneider, it's Snyder, in his newsletter, The Insnider, reported in that newsletter that A24, at least temporarily, was pulling out of the Crystal Lake Peacock series, or had pulled the plug on the Crystal Lake Peacock series. As I said, I have a video up on that if you want to go more in depth on that. And the internet freaked out. We all freaked out because, oh my God, again, this happened to us. Friday the 13th, Crystal Lake, we've been hyped for this for years, and now it is seemingly dead. Well, the very next day at around 11 or 12, Bloody Disgusting came out the very next day, and they reported essentially, and I have another video up in this article if you want to check that out, that A24 had not, in fact, pulled the plug on the series, but that there was quote-unquote retooling being done. And so it calmed the waters a little bit in the fan base, but we all wondered what was retooling. What did retooling mean? And I think we all suspected what happened today, and that is the announcement that Bryan Fuller, and he announced this himself, is no longer a part of the Crystal Lake series happening at Peacock and with A24. He is out. He is no longer the showrunner. So let's go into the actual Bloody Disgusting report that I initially saw this on, and then we will discuss about where this show goes next. But the title of the Bloody Disgusting update is Crystal Lake Update. A24 going in a quote-unquote different way with the Friday the 13th TV series. And we will just go through the entire article here. It's not very long. So here it is. Quote-unquote, this week has brought a lot of confusion about Crystal Lake, A24, Peacock, and Bryan Fuller's television series of the Friday the 13th franchise. While reports and rumors spread about A24 pulling the plug on the series, we told you on Monday that that's not exactly the case. Rather, the project is being retooled behind the scenes. So what exactly is going on here? Bryan Fuller has taken to Instagram tonight to provide an update. The bad news, Fuller is no longer involved with the Crystal Lake series. The good news, that doesn't mean A24 is giving up hope on the project. Fuller writes on Instagram, adapting classic horror is something I have some experience with. These shows require a vision that elevates and transforms as well as delivers what audiences have come to expect, which is an ambitious and risky endeavor. It requires people to take the leap with me. When it works, as with Hannibal, the results can be powerful for the storytellers and the audience. I couldn't be more proud of the work my co-showrunner, Jim Danger Gray, and I were able to accomplish with our brilliant writing staff despite the challenges we faced. For reasons beyond our control, A24 has elected to go a different way with the material. We hope the final product will be something Friday the 13th fans all over the world will enjoy. A24 and Peacock are now searching for a new showrunner for the series. Stay tuned. Peacock has given the project a straight-to-series order in 2022, with Crystal Lake being described as an expanded prequel to the original Friday the 13th franchise, featuring both Jason Voorhees and his mother, Pamela Voorhees. Original Friday the 13th final girl, Adrienne King, had even signed on for a recurring role in the planned A24 television series. And then it just gives us information. So that's the meat of the article here. The other stuff mentioned is what we kind of already knew. So yes, Bryan Fuller is out as the showrunner of Crystal Lake. And it's not surprising. It's not entirely surprising, to be completely honest with you. We all kind of saw this coming. Whenever we heard retooling, I know I definitely had an eyebrow raised. I know a lot of you had an eyebrow raised at that. And you kind of had a feeling something big was coming, at least I did, of course. Especially when you look at Bryan Fuller's history and you examine that. If you don't know, as revered of a showrunner as Bryan Fuller has become, he does have a track record of starting shows and signing on to projects, and then for whatever reason, he doesn't stay very long. He leaves very quickly, and this happened with, I believe, his show Dead Like Me. he signed on, and that only ran for 2 seasons, and he wasn't even showrunner for that for like a full season for whatever reason. It happened with his Star Trek Discovery series, where he was signed on as showrunner for that, and then he left after 1 season. And I guess part of the reason he left was because he was spending too much time working on another series, American Gods, but then American Gods, he left after 1 season as showrunner of that. He just doesn't stick around very long for whatever reason. There was an anthology series that he was working with Apple TV Plus, I think it was on. There was an anthology series that he was supposed to be a showrunner on, and he left even before that got into production. So for whatever reason, he doesn't stick around long. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is with that. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with that, and obviously something went on behind the scenes here. But now we have to address the elephant in the room. Guys, we absolutely have to. The allegations of sexual harassment that came out against Bryan Fuller in a lawsuit against Bryan Fuller in October of last year. I even thought about making a video on those allegations when they came out. Obviously, I didn't, but I had my doubts back then that, true or not, those allegations might prevent A24 and Peacock from moving forward with this if he's involved. And I'm not going to go into detail. You can Google it. You can read all you want about it. I'm not really comfortable discussing that. I just thought I'd bring it up here because it is kind of the elephant in the room, is that he does have some very dark allegations against him. We just have to call it what it is. And I don't know if that was the reason. That was like 7 months ago. And so, waiting a better part of a year to make this move seems strange to me. Or maybe they just got cold feet. It's risky to move forward with a show and a showrunner that has those allegations against them. So I just thought I'd mention it. I do get the feeling it played some impact. It had to have had some impact. But yeah, Bryan Fuller is out. As we just read and as we have seen, Bryan Fuller is no longer going to be the showrunner for the Crystal Lake series happening at Peacock with A24. Now, interestingly enough, it has been reported by Bloody Disgusting and other places that they are actively searching for a showrunner. I don't know who they're gonna sign on. What sucks is I can almost guarantee you all that reporting about July, this summer, they're going to film, they're ready to go. That's done. We're not seeing this show for a while. I'd be honestly pretty surprised if we're going to see this show in 2025 because, Bryan Fuller's Crystal Lake might not be the vision that another creator has, and they might not want to make that show. It's not going to be Bryan Fuller's vision. So sadly, it feels like we're starting from step zero here. It's just, we'll see who they hire. The one name that has come to mind for me is, I was actually thinking about this. If Bryan Fuller does leave this project, who would I want them to hire? I've heard this get often compared, and people say, well, this is, the Friday the 13th version of Bates Motel. What are the showrunners of Bates Motel doing these days? I loved Bates Motel. I thought that was a great entry to the Psycho universe, and I don't know if they have any passion or love for the Friday the 13th franchise, but if they were interested, oh yeah, I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. But for the people who are saying, well, if Bryan Fuller's not involved, I'm not interested. Well, guys, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of talented creators who are passionate about this franchise, who are passionate about Jason Voorhees, who are passionate about this universe, who can make it their own vision and make a damn good Friday the 13th show. So I still have confidence. I still have optimism that A24 and Peacock can find that person. And at the very least, right now, we still have hope that this show is going to happen, and we're finally going to get another entry in the Friday the 13th franchise, in the Friday the 13th universe. So it's been a wild week. I'm assuming we'll hear some more stuff soon, But yeah, guys, that is the big news of the day. Bryan Fuller is out as the showrunner of the Crystal Lake TV series at Peacock. So, and I guess that's my question for the comments section. Now that it's official, now that he is no longer involved, who do you want as the showrunner? And we know that A24 and Peacock are actively looking for his replacement. Who is your dream showrunner? You know, I brought up the showrunners from Bates Motel. Who is your dream showrunner? Who do you want to come in and give us this expanded prequel or pre-remakeable or whatever? Tell me below. I'd be curious to hear some of the names that you guys want. And yeah, that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's awful news about the Crystal Lake TV show happening at Peacock, but hey, we started the week with the supposed reporter announcement that the show was dead entirely. So we're in a better place, I guess, than what we were at the beginning of the week. But yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, comment and subscribe. And don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys later. Take care.